Hello, and welcome to the e-learning series on transporting dangerous goods for carriers and handlers. This series is presented by ICC the Compliance Center. In this series, we'll cover transportation of dangerous goods based on the Transportation of Dangerous Goods regulations as they were published in September 1st, 2014. This program will run as a video under Microsoft Media Player. At any time, you can stop the program or go back to review material you wish to see again. In case of technical difficulties, please contact ICC the Compliance Center for assistance. Dangerous goods are substances or articles that can injure people or damage property during transportation. For example, here we see the result of a major train derailment that occurred in Mississauga, Ontario in 1979. Although no people were killed in this incident, much of the city had to be closed and evacuated. More recently, the disaster at Lac-Mégantic in Quebec has shown how dangerous such shipments can be. This e-learning series will help you to handle dangerous goods more safely and carry them from one location to another. Once you've completed the series, your employer can certify you as a trained person for your assigned duties under the Transportation of Dangerous Goods regulations. These will be known as TDG for short during this training program. It is recommended that you use ICC's Transportation of Dangerous Goods Shipper and Driver's Handbook as a reference as we go through this series. Our goals in this class are to become familiar with the Transportation of Dangerous Goods Act and regulations, know your responsibilities under these regulations, and to be able to safely handle and transport dangerous goods. The series will cover the following topics. First, an introduction to the TDG regulations. Then, the classification and identification for dangerous goods. Selecting and verifying packaging for dangerous goods. Marking and labeling dangerous goods in small means of containment, which is sometimes called non-bulk packaging. We'll look at shipping documentation requirements for dangerous goods, and how to placard large means of containment, such as vehicles that carry dangerous goods. We'll look at the requirements for safe loading and handling, and how to report serious spills of dangerous goods during transport, called accidental releases. Special cases are where the regulations may apply in a different way. This includes limited quantities of dangerous goods. This section will also look at some special requirements when transporting dangerous goods in the province of Quebec. Finally, there will be a short online quiz to complete your training. Please refer to your registration information for details on logging into the quiz. The TDG regulations apply to all handling, offering for transport, and transporting of dangerous goods. Note that handling means packaging, loading, as well as unloading and unpackaging of dangerous goods, and includes storage during the course of transportation. Most carriers will have to handle dangerous goods during some part of their jobs. Shippers and receivers may also have to handle dangerous goods for transport. The TDG regulations apply to all modes of transport. However, this course will concentrate on road transport. Please see ICC's other training offerings for training for air and ocean shipments. In general, these regulations apply anytime dangerous goods are transported from one location to another. However, there are exceptions called special cases where the regulations may not apply in full. The TDG regulations are enforced by inspectors. These inspectors may represent Transport Canada, or your provincial department in charge of transportation, or the provincial police. Penalties for noncompliance include fines of up to $50,000 for a first offense, or up to $100,000 for following offenses, or jail time for up to 2 years. They can also lead to demerit points on a driver's license. Shippers, handlers, and carriers of dangerous goods must be trained in all aspects of their job that relates to the transportation of dangerous goods, and certified by their employer that the training is adequate. After completing this course, you will be able to print a certificate. However, it must be signed by your employer to verify that you know enough to do the job you have been assigned. This certificate will be valid until your job changes or until 3 years have passed, whichever comes first. Carriers, such as truck drivers, must always keep a copy of their training certificate available during transport. Inspectors may ask to see the certificate to verify that you have been properly trained. Truck drivers may be fined if they do not have their certificate available or if the certificate has expired. Self-employed truck drivers may sign their own certificate as their own employer. Now, let's take a look at the basic responsibilities involved in transporting dangerous goods. They can be divided into 2 main groups, those that belong to the consignor or shipper and those that belong to the carrier. Some of these responsibilities are common to everyone involved, also including the receiver of the dangerous goods. These responsibilities include ensuring that all aspects of the regulations are met during transport, prohibiting the handling or transport of non-compliant goods, ensuring the proper display or removal of dangerous goods safety marks, loading and handling dangerous goods for transport safely, keeping copies of the shipping papers for at least 2 years, reporting serious spills of dangerous goods called accidental releases, and providing training for workers involved in the transport of dangerous goods and making sure that they are retrained at least once every 3 years. Handlers are those who prepare dangerous goods for transport and also those who receive them. They must make sure that dangerous goods that they are offering for transport are classified correctly, that the goods are legally and safely packaged. They must prepare a shipping document that describes the shipment in detail, and where necessary, supply the placards needed for the shipment. And they must make sure that dangerous goods are loaded and stored safely during the course of transportation. Carriers, such as truck drivers, must refuse to accept shipments that they are aware are not in compliance. They must make sure that they've been given a printed copy of the shipping document, or if it's given to them electronically, they must produce their own printed copy. They must transfer a copy of the shipping document to the next carrier or to the final receiver if it's the end of the shipment. During the trip, they must replace any damaged or missing safety marks, and they must ensure that the goods are loaded and secured safely prior to transport. This is the end of Part 1, Introduction to the Transportation of Dangerous Goods Regulations. When you're ready, please move on to the next section of the e-learning series, Classification and Identification.